Welcome to Spoop Squad, the podcast that watches horror films that go flop in the night. I'm Jared.
I'm still Nick.
And I'm Nathan. Spoop your life.
This episode, we watched The Void from 2016. It is ranked 5.8 out of 10 on IMDb, and we watched this on Amazon.
Of course we did.
Of course we did. I was trying to find it on something else because I want to switch it up, but I mean, Amazon just has like a lot of really good stuff. All right, Nick, budget. Did you find one?
Show did.
Awesome. What is it?
We are looking at, you know what, I'm just really curious because it's pretty fucking low, and I'm curious if you guys can take a guess.
$4.
More?
Okay.
Higher.
$50,000.
Higher.
I'm going to say, okay.
300.
Yeah, I was going to right on point with you. $300,000 is what I'm guessing.
Less than that.
Wow.
$250,000.
Less than that. You were closer with 50,000. This is impressive.
75,000.
Not far off. 82,510.
That was my next
Wow.
guess.
Was on the dot. 82,510, right?
Yeah.
Because I was sending that to you. I'm practicing telepathy.
I didn't get that.
Well, I can only do it for one.
Why are you only going to Nathan? Why are you sending a message to Nathan and
Well,
not
this
me?
might hurt you to hear, but there's
You
something
said
about Herod acts as an antenna to help you
Oh, well.
grab my telepathy.
Your telekinesis, huh?
It's telekinesis.
I did also find the gross, guys.
Okay, what's that?
The worldwide box office was 377,000.
I mean, that's pretty good.
That's a win.
I mean, when
Yeah.
you look at how little it costs to make,
Yeah.
all things considered,
I mean, look, it's not Bad Ben, where
Yeah.
he made, what, like $300,000 from spending $300 or
Yeah.
some bullshit? Yeah.
yeah, but I mean, because I hadn't even heard of this. I never saw a trailer or anything, so yeah, they did a good job.
He
With
took
their
the job.
fucking budget. Jesus, I'm just baffled by how little it was.
It is a pretty low budget. This is made by the same people or the same director from Psycho
Letterkenny.
Gorman.
Oh, Psycho Gorman.
It does have Letterkenny actor in it, which we will get into. Okay, so synopsis. Nick, what is the synopsis here?
Shortly after delivering a patient to an understaffed hospital, a police officer experiences strange and violent occurrences seemingly linked to a group of mysterious hooded figures.
What's this fucking weird voice
I
you're
thought
doing
you were going to
now?
lose it. You almost lost it there in the middle.
Almost.
But I
he
reeled
got
it back
You're
in
like-
for the fucking victory. Nailed that shit, guys.
That was some great audio.
All right.
Real quick, I did find a couple of other places it is streaming.
Okay.
You can get it for free on AMC, Crackle, something that's S, something that's a P, but it doesn't tell you what it is, and then Tubi, and then you can rent it on Amazon, YouTube, Vudu, and Apple TV.
Okay.
So that's for you guys.
That's all of the places you can.
You can also purchase it on.
Oh, I didn't know I could ever find it in my Crackle.
And
you can
P.
find it apparently in your Crackle.
There's a void in my Crackle.
God damn it. All right, Nathan, one good thing. What do you got?
My one good thing is that I have a triangle-shaped butthole.
You're a fucking idiot. What's
No.
your actual one good thing?
My one good thing, on the spot.
I mean, this is the show. We do this every
I'm supposed
episode.
to be thinking about this the whole
No,
time.
this is a pretty new segment we added in.
You know what? I will say that I like that there were themes through, like the triangle was a thing that carried throughout. Like it was a major theme, like visually, and that was really well done and how they like worked it in different places.
Yeah, all over the place. The hoods and the door leading down into what is essentially hell.
Yeah, but I mean, there's
the
like
doorway.
there was a
to
bunch
the
of other
void
places
itself.
where you saw it
Yeah.
throughout. So it was just really, it was cleverly hidden in some spots that
Yeah.
I can't remember right now because it's been at least 20 minutes since we watched the movie.
I bet if we were to go back and really look for it, we'd catch way more too.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that they put a bunch of them laying around.
Yeah.
But I don't know for sure. Could have left that part out.
All right, Nick, what's your one good thing?
I like movies that don't over-explain themselves. You know what I mean? They set up a premise, they give you what you need, but they're not like, hey, you're not going to find a big-ass journal that explains what demon this is, what realm they're in, and they're going to spend 2 hours researching it. I like that. Like, there was a sense of urgency as they kind of moved through, their plan to try to escape, to rescue people and things like that. There wasn't a, let's exposition dump you, and even at the end when the big, reveal happens and they kind of start to give you some of it, they still leave a lot of it up to you, and I like that. It was like, a lot of people didn't like stuff like that, like in Cloverfield, but things like that I actually really enjoy.
They definitely set a pace, and they keep that pace.
Yeah, they did a good
They
job.
they don't slow down.
No, that like
for
at
anybody.
all. To the point where I was like, kind of when we got to the end of the movie, I was like, are we at the fucking end of the movie? Like already, it moved very quickly.
Yeah,
It
because
moved
it
very
felt like
quickly.
there should have been a little bit more. Yeah.
Well, it's because the whole time I was waiting for them to tell me more, but they didn't, and I really like that. It keeps you focused and engaged because you're waiting for more, and whether it comes or not, it kind of leaves it up to you. I don't know. I really like that.
Yeah. Well, Jared, what's your one good thing?
My one good thing is definitely the practical effects in the movie.
Yeah.
I mean, we talk about it a bunch in other movies that have practical effects instead of like CGI and stuff like that. But this movie does it really well. Like all the monsters that are in this movie, they're fucking great.
Yeah. Yeah, they're like super gruesome. I mean, like there are some like the Beverly when she turns into a monster is kind of cheesy, but also fucking great at the same time.
Yeah.
Like the tentacles and shit, fucking amazing.
Yeah, well, they had like the tentacles like pushing into the sheriff or the state trooper's eyes in his mouth, and like that looked really good.
Yeah.
And usually you can tell like, oh, that's a prop head or something, but like this looks great.
Yeah.
I was really impressed. And again, we're going back to the budget. Not even $100,000.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah. And I mean, I kind of brought it up, but this is the same director that did Psycho Gorman, and the practical effects in that movie is
Outstanding.
amazing.
I didn't know that. When did you bring that up?
Like literally earlier
yeah.
when we were talking.
Was I in the bathroom?
No, like
It
when
was
we started
literally
recording.
as we were sitting down.
Oh, when you said it's no Psycho Gorman, I did not know that was because the guy did it. Whoops.
Yeah.
Oh, well, here, welcome to the conversation, Nick. I'm so glad I have you guys to tell me these things.
All of this is staying in.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude.
Okay, so the director, it's a co-director on The Void, but he was the director on Psycho Gorman. His name is Steven Kostansky.
Part of me really feels like they got him because they're like, yeah, we need that practical effects experience. And I mean, I don't really know how much experience he would have.
Well,
hands-on
Psycho
experience.
Gorman was after this.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Psycho Gorman was after this.
Psycho Gorman's that recent? Oh, I guess this was 2016.
2020 was Psycho Gorman,
Yeah.
and
Oh, I
this
thought
movie
this-
was 2016.
Yeah, to be honest, I would have put Psycho Gorman at like about 2016, like with this. I don't know, but
You definitely can see some of the influences. Like, remember the cop from Psycho Gorman that gets all fucked up?
Yes.
This is
What was
this is
his name?
very.
I definitely had that thought, and I
Yeah.
wanted him to be in this movie so bad.
Oh, what was his name?
Vince, wasn't it Vince?
Yes,
Yeah, it was
Vince.
Vince.
Fucking Vince was the best. I want Vince to be in every movie.
I do. Like, apparently he has his own short movie.
Oh, that's great.
I have not been able to find it yet, but I'm still looking because I need that in my life.
Well, yes.
100%.
directors are big fans of the pods. I'm sure that they'll reach
Oh,
out to us
yeah,
after
I'm
they
sure.
hear
Yeah.
this.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
they
they'll
listen to
send
every
it to
episode.
us,
They'll,
yeah.
they'll contact us, let us know.
All right, Nathan, kill breakdown. How many we got?
We have 11.
11. Okay.
Six deaths were super fast. Like the
Yeah.
first 15 minutes of the movie. And then the rest kind of spread out, but were mainly toward the end. But number one is Sweater Girl gets burned alive.
That she does.
The Robinson kid gets killed by Bev. That's the only name I have for him because somebody referred to him as the Robinson kid.
Stabbed him in the eye with scissors.
Yeah. And then Bev shot by Daniel. Trooper Mitchell killed by Bev because she came back as a
Yeah.
monster.
Yeah, and then
That was Monster Bev, so it's a different Bev. It's Monster Energy Bev. Bev killed by strange men.
Who flip-flopped between heroes and villains.
Yeah,
In my mind, anyways.
I feel like they were like true neutral.
Yeah,
Doctor stabbed in neck by Rolled.
Rolled. That's who we had
From Letterkenny.
Yeah,
It was Rolled.
Rolled
and then,
is in this movie and is great.
yeah, and then sometime later, Rolled gets head bashed in by monster. Grandpa gets throat slashed by pregnant girl. Daniel chops Allison to bits. Oh, you know what? There's 12. I missed one. Because right after this is the pregnant girl dies when Vecna's daughter explodes out of her belly, and then
Which is a great scene.
yeah, and then Grumpy Man is set on fire to kill Vecna's daughter. He didn't have a name. No one called him a name through the whole thing. So
well, the doctor had a name.
Yeah, the doctor had a name.
But-
it was
but
Richard
that-
Powell.
no.
wasn't
But the
him
grump,
anymore.
the old, the
Oh,
grumpy
yeah,
guy,
yeah.
like who
Yeah,
was
you're
like,
right. There was-
who was like one of the flip floppers
Because the only one that would have known
in the Carhartt
it
jacket.
didn't speak.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the other one
so-
couldn't talk. And then Vecna's daughter goes squish. So that's 12.
I would like an explanation of the hallway closing in like that.
I think it's just the void was closing.
Yeah, that's what I was getting.
The doorway to hell was closing.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fair. I don't know. But
because I mean,
there was, like,
it
some-
was.
in the void. Is there architecture like that? I don't know.
I mean, it was just
Who
a
knows? I've never been there.
they kind of discussed as they were going down into like what Daniel called the sub basement.
Yeah.
And the girl was like, "Oh
There
no,
are no more
there
stairs to
are
go
no. Yeah, there's only
Yeah.
one set of stairs. There's no
Yeah,
more stairs."
I guess he just magically opened up a layer. Yeah.
Well, I think the doctor opened the portal
Yeah.
to hell or whatever the
Yeah.
void is supposed to be.
Well,
They
but-
called it hell.
Well, but because he had a layer like under the sub basement or under the basement, like in the sub basement, but then he also had the portal to the void or whatever the fuck it was, which we're gonna just assume is
yeah,
the
the
void
triangle
namely, yeah.
portal.
So
Yeah.
I guess my thing is like he created a doorway and then I don't know. Oh, it was the door frame. All doorways need door frames. I don't know. That's the best I got. It's just a long doorway.
I'm
door
just like
frame.
it's a foyer.
Yeah, there you go. That's exactly what I was looking
The
for.
fucking
Thank
mud room.
you.
It's the void's mud
it's a
room.
mud room. Take off your shoes.
Yeah, take
in the
off your
void.
shoes in the mud room before you go into the void. Yeah, it was a place where you got many great lines from Daniel, such as, "It smells like a grave."
Like, how does he know what a grave smells like?
No, it's just he had some of the most boring dialogue in the entire thing. He had like a couple of good lines, like,
Oh, it's my privilege to hate my ex-wife or whatever.
to
it
hate
was.
my wife.
Oh, to hate my wife.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that when he says that the unnamed I don't know guy with the rifle that shows up. He's like, oh, it's pretty stupid. She just wandered off alone, right? And I love that he had literally told her not to do that. This is exactly what he's upset about. But he turns around, he's like, "Fuck you!" Like, no, only I get to hate my wife, asshole.
Yeah.
I loved it. He's like defending her, even though he 100% agrees. I loved
Yeah.
it.
But the look on the grumpy dude's face when he says it is like, "Oh."
Like, so I can't say that. All right.
He's like, "Oh, you have more at stake here."
You have a history.
Yeah, you have a family.
Okay, so I do want to mention this. We do get a no smoking sign,
Yes.
and it is in the bathroom.
It's
It's
just
a paper sign.
and it's like only taped at the top.
Yeah,
As if they had
it's
just
very
put it up.
new policy to not
Yeah.
smoke in this hospital.
It definitely looks like somebody had crumpled the paper up to make it look aged and then smoothed it out and hung it up.
Do you think that maybe the fire they mentioned was started by somebody smoking in the bathroom, and then that's why?
Oh, that's a very good theory.
know
I
what?
do like this
Yeah.
because it did have a fire.
Well, because you're right,
in-
it did
in the
look fairly
hospital.
new. Like they had just taped that shit up. So I mean, they mentioned that they were moving because of the fire. Then they end up in the burned down area section.
Well, why would they even be operating if it had been on fire?
They have to save lives, Nathan.
They could do it anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I think you could probably get a crew to move the hospital, and you could just probably move some patients to the other one that you're planning to go to anyways. I don't know. I don't know anything about moving hospitals and patients, but it seems doable.
I mean, to be honest, they didn't have a whole lot of
I'm
patients.
going to call a couple of my friends that are nurses while we're on the pod, guys. Let's do this right now.
I love the fact that you're using your phone as a prop as if everybody can see
What's
you.
for you guys? I'm putting on a show for y'all as well.
Yeah, it's
Well,
our
thank
benefit.
you. Thank you for that.
Okay, can we talk about the Bev battle real fast?
Yes, please do.
Because they ran back there. They shot her once with the rifle, but he kept dropping the bullet and could not get it in the gun.
You're talking about Monster Bev.
Yeah, Monster Bev. So it was just a very toxic shark moment when he couldn't get the flare in the flare gun.
God.
Yeah.
But he's got this one bullet and he just keeps fumbling it. It's like, I don't know if you've ever used one of these before.
Okay, that was.
But
I
he
was thinking
obviously
the
did because
same
he's
thing.
in a Carhartt jacket.
Yeah,
So
but he also
Well,
like,
he's a poser.
no, that's fair.
yeah. I mean,
He's one of those
I-
TikTok posers.
I kind of thought the same thing. I was like, I got the impression this guy has been kind of doing this all night. And at the opening where he was like, let's burn this bitch, he seems pretty committed to this. But now he's all of a sudden fumbling. And then think about the rest of the movie. He doesn't do that ever again. Like, he's
Yeah.
afraid for sure at times, but he's pretty like steady-handed and he does what he's got to do.
Yeah.
So it was weird. It didn't work for me. I was like, you could have just had it slap the fucking gun out of his hand and then the bullets go rolling or something.
Yeah, or like it goes off and that was his last bullet. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
or that. Yeah.
But like,
I mean, they did mention that he ran out of ammunition.
yeah, but they mentioned that later. But I just like that they run in with the fire axes and just start beating the shit out of it.
Yeah, just straight up
absolutely beating the shit
batting
out
practice,
of
yeah.
out of Monster Energy Bev.
I'm going to be honest with y'all. Not me. I'll be like, y'all got it. Woo! I watch from the background. I'll be like, that is way too much shit over there. I'm going to chill here. I'm going to go risk my life with the fucking white hooded people out front. Like, fuck that.
Oh
like,
yeah,
The weird thing about this scene though is like they're hacking at Monster Bev with axes and she's still alive, but then they cut off the head of Bev's victim, which is the older cop, and then she dies.
yeah.
So I don't
I
it's
don't
very
understand how
weird.
that
I don't
happened.
understand.
I don't get what worked there.
Yeah.
But I think
plus they, like-
because they were doing that fight at the same time. Like he turned around and just decided to start chopping the old trooper off, or Trooper Mitchell, like chopping his head off.
I'm assuming maybe killing him at the same time the other thing was dying because they didn't want him to reanimate.
I mean, I would assume so
Yeah.
too, but why would it kill Monster Bev to cut his head off? That's what I'm not
Yeah, I
getting.
maybe it was already dying because they'd done so much damage to it, even though we clearly see later one is like putting his head through or a pole through his head and has a very clear hole
Yeah.
in his head. So
That he
Which
was
is
Things
a
seem pretty
great
much
fucking scene.
unkillable.
Let's talk
Yeah.
about that real
yeah, that
quick.
actually was fucking nuts.
Because the doctor obviously is the big bad here.
and literally like in the scene before.
Yeah, as he's talking to Allison, kind of with the one like real exposition dump that we get. He's talking about how he has, basically these kids that are living in the hospital and they can't kill themselves, and even though they want to die. And then we get this scene where one of these monsters is just ramming its head up against a pole,
And it looks like it has been doing this for a long
for a
time.
very long
Shit,
time,
it's not
because
even-
there's a literal hole
Yeah,
in its
I mean,
head
at this
from
point-
front to back.
it's really just ramming its head up against the wall because the pole is sticking out of the wall and it's cleared out in the center of its
Yeah,
skull.
that's
and
true.
it's just so it's basically beating its head up against the wall with a pole going right
It's
through
like the
it. It
whole
was
area where
fucking
like
nuts.
eyes and nose would be.
Yeah, like I've never seen anything like that in a movie. That was really well done.
It was a very
That was
good
very
top
cool.
Yeah.
contender for one good thing for me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
that
I
was a super cool
almost went with practical effects, but I knew one of y'all was gonna too, and
Yeah.
so I was like, I'm gonna go with something else because I mean they were fucking incredible. Especially once I looked up the budget, I was incredibly impressed.
Yeah,
I'm gonna bring that
there,
up, like,
there was
10
a
more
lot of stuff in that was impressive. I mean, going like just sticking with that scene when all of the monsters just because they're like, oh, they're like, oh, it's a fucking meat locker in here.
Yeah.
and then like all of a sudden all of the monsters just kind of come out of nowhere, or
was
they're
it-
like pulling themselves off of hooks or whatever and coming after them.
Was this kind of like Lovecraftian a little bit?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still
very
not
much
like
Lovecraftian.
fully aware of what that term really means because I just never researched
As in
it.
Well,
pertaining to the works of H.P.
Yeah,
Lovecraft.
they,
Yeah, but
they
I've
talked
never
about
read
like
any of
the
that.
old gods.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
Oh, is that like a big thing with him? Is like old gods and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, because he does, because he said something. Oh, it was Allison said something to the doctor about God or playing God or something, and then he was like, "Oh no, this is like older.
Yeah.
These gods are older than God."
I think
Yeah. Older than
yeah.
time, basically.
Yeah. Older than time. Yeah, which is it's always a cool line when you're like, yeah, no, like this modern shit that you guys believe, no, it predates that. It's like, oh, cool, let's not fuck with that.
Yeah.
Let's leave that wherever it was
But
supposed
then-
to be.
We wouldn't have a movie, would we?
We wouldn't.
Yeah.
And that would be sad.
Yeah.
Yeah. If Daniel had reacted like most cops, he wouldn't have just picked up, rolled out of the street. He would have just driven away. He
Dude,
would've
I
been
was
like,
literally
oh
thinking,
shit, there's
I was like-
danger. I gotta get out of here.
Think about how
Stranger
much
danger,
better
reverse.
if my guy had just been like, nope, end of my shift and left.
Yep.
I mean, Allison's still fucked, but and everybody else there, but I
Yeah.
mean, my guy gets to live. Okay. So, did you guys want a little? I wanted a little bit more from Allison's transformation. I was a little upset that we just saw her laying there and it was looking at the top of her head and you could see tentacles coming out of her. I kind of wanted to see more of that. That was probably the only transformation or monster that I was really let down in, and it's just because we didn't see more of it.
Yeah, and that was kind of a thing too. That was kind of a confusing thing for me, was that the doctor had impregnated the teenage girl with his monster baby, but also had impregnated Allison with his monster baby.
Well,
So was he just going to
Allison-
pick from one of them?
No, Allison was just a generic monster baby because the thing is with the movie is that we realized that Allison had lost a child.
Yes.
And so one of the things that she like really wanted in her life is to be a mother. So he made her a mother. The child
Okay.
that the young girl had was his daughter that he was
Yeah.
bringing back to life.
Yes.
But she
so
was
two
truly
different.
pregnant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she'd been pregnant. She was naturally pregnant. He then just
Suck the
used
baby out of the
magic
void
and shit
yeah.
to like make that his child, which came back as a monster.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it was a little weird. I just I don't know. I really because the way they did it, where she was talking to Daniel, as if, and it was almost like maybe it was a flashback to when they lost their kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they were doing some flashbacks.
Yeah.
In the hellscape.
But then, like, all of a sudden, he realizes, like, oh, hey, look, she's like fucking Dr. Octopus all of a sudden with his shit coming out of her, which seems like, I mean, he probably would have seen that, right away, unless there was some sort of magic at play. But yeah,
You see what you want to see.
yeah. Well, I don't know if I'd miss all that shit, man. That's
Yeah.
woo. But yeah, I don't know. I think they could have, because I just wanted to see more of how fucking evil that shit was. Like, I feel
Yeah.
like that was
Yeah.
kind of to be honest, it could have been a budgetary thing.
I mean, really, in all honesty, it's sad to say, but she was a plot point for
Oh, yeah.
Daniel's story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that really is all she was. That's a
Yeah.
fair point. Damn.
Yeah, because they
she
didn't
was
develop her character enough for you to give a
She
shit about her.
Yeah, she really didn't have much of anything.
Yeah, because
But honestly, I didn't give a shit about really anybody.
I didn't give a shit about the grandfather.
Yeah.
I didn't really give a shit about.
I didn't give a shit about Daniel.
well, and even
Yeah.
the two that survived, the nurse. Do you remember her name?
Bev.
No,
Bev died.
the
younger
nurse.
one.
Yeah.
No, Maggie was the pregnant girl.
I
So,
don't remember. Her
I
name.
kind of liked her because, like,
Yeah.
but really the only
Oh,
reason
because
I
she
liked
was like
her,
a normal person.
Yeah, what was the first scene with her when she's talking to the other kid on the bed and she's like sitting there reading like the nurse's like book, her textbook and everything. Like, I liked her then. And was really, and to be honest, I thought in that moment she was going to end up being my one good thing. And then they just were like, fuck the character development so you know anything about this character, and moved on. But I liked her
Kim.
at the beginning. It was Kim.
Her
I was
name was
thinking
Kim.
Kim.
Sorry, I looked it up.
No, that's good because now we know and we've told everybody. I say we. You told everybody. When you guys watch movies like this, do you ever wonder, like, there's like no coordination, like, communication between all the cultists, but like they all know what they're doing. So do they have like dress rehearsals and for this shit?
I think they do. I think they would have to.
Well, like, because, I'm dying. Like, you said the thing about, like, when did they change all the emergency lights to red? And that was, like, when I was like, I got to think for this. I was like, yeah. I mean, do they just, like, sneak in, like, guys, this is going to be fucking great. Tom,
like
you're
they're
entering
in the
from
meeting,
stage right. Like, because when they walked the pregnant chick down to the void before she turned and all that, like, I'm like, these people know where they're going. They know exactly what they're doing, but there's no communication. They knew when to enter the building. They knew everything. I'm like, there was a dress rehearsal for this. There had to
And then
be.
also whenever they're standing outside,
That's what I was gonna
The
bring up.
knives.
yeah, they all pull up their knife
same time.
at the exact same moment.
Yeah.
And they're
It's
all
like,
holding it the
and
same
1,
angle.
2, 3,
Exact same
1,
way. That's
2,
what I'm saying.
3.
There's got to be like exactly. There's like a guy with like a metronome and 1, 2. They're all. That always cracked me up in these movies. Whenever there's cultists involved, there's no communication.
Yeah.
But they're all so fully aware of what they got to do. They're just like, we've got it, and everybody just marches to the beat.
Like
no beat.
my thing is could it possibly be like some kind of hive mind situation?
That's what I was
going
gonna
on?
say. Is that's what they're trying to get across? Is that there's some sort of hive mind? Like that's just what makes sense to me. Is
That's
that,
the only thing that.
But
makes
I mean,
sense.
But
it's like most like cult films when people are moving together. It's supposed to be that they are all brainwashed the same way,
Yeah.
and so they all do the same thing. So like it's supposed to be like a hive mind. They're all being controlled by something else.
I much prefer the idea that like 2 days prior they all
They all
got
had
together.
rehearsal.
Like, yeah, I much prefer this idea.
Like they're
It's
all
fun.
from community
Yeah.
theater.
Yes, exactly. They're like checking call sheets and shit.
Okay, Sam, he is sick today, so who's his understudy? Oh,
Exactly.
Bradley. Okay, yes, Bradley, you're up.
Bradley, you're up. Don't fuck it up.
Do you know your lines?
You know your lines, right?
Yeah, we don't have any. Fantastic.
Like
He's doing
I
great.
do want to have an extended version where there is this one person that is not on time.
He shows up
Yeah.
late.
He comes running up. He's like, "Oh shit! They already pulled their knives out."
Maybe wait.
just like
we
coming right up
got
into the
him.
back. Oh,
We got him. He's the one when they were getting the shotgun out of the car and everybody else was standing there like, look. That's Jim. Hey, they don't know Jim's behind him, and Jim comes running up and slices the kid, and just as the cop
Yeah.
gets the shotgun out. That's probably what happened. They're like, ooh, yeah, that's why we attack as a
He
group,
was
Jim.
showing up late,
Yeah.
and he was like, oh shit, I got to do something.
And they're like,
gotta
was he here
impress.
on Thursday? Was he here for the dress rehearsal? My God,
You're
was
supposed to enter stage right, not left, idiot.
God damn it.
sorry, my mom was sick. She was having trouble. I was having trouble getting a ride.
He's
I
laying
had
there.
to stop and get gas.
He's like bleeding out after the cop shoots him, thinking, God, why am I not on time?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is kind of bringing something back into my mind. I
Yes.
would say that this is a shit show, just like
Fuck.
fucking Trooper Mitchell
I was
called everything.
Everything was
When-
a shit show.
Well, because the first thing that he was talking about was the fact that Daniel brought a man that had been injured and he found on the road
Yeah.
to the hospital. Totally fucking normal thing to do. Okay?
Especially as a police
Nothing
officer.
insane with that. And then he's like, hey, you entered a room, saw a nurse stabbing somebody through the eye with scissors. She turned around, said, this isn't my face, was bleeding literally all over her face because she'd already begun to try to cut it off at some
Yeah.
point. And then starts to like remove pieces of her face and then comes at him, so he shoots her. And that's not a logical line of action.
No, that's what you would call a shit show.
That's but it's
he
the-
didn't
it's that
cause it.
yeah,
is the
it-
thing. He reacted to it.
it was
like,
it was that Officer Mitchell looks at him and goes, I knew your father. He was a good man. Do you really think he'd be proud of this shit show?
He called him a stand-up.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Stand-up
He did.
cop.
He's a stand-up cop. I assume means he was very funny. But he's like, do you think he would be proud of this shit show? And then Daniel's just standing there like, what?
Yeah. Like, I remember thinking, like, fuck off. Like, what did you
Seriously.
want him to do? I'm sorry, dude. If there's a chick that's already tried to cut her face off,
Yeah.
killed another person, and it still has scissors and comes after me, if I have a gun, I'm going to shoot her.
Yeah.
Like, what? No, I don't want my face getting cut off. Which, to be fair, she didn't threaten me with that, but
Yeah. She was just trying to kill him.
which is way better.
Yeah. But so that was an interesting thing too, is that like, so she was she was cutting her face off, but then you look at when the doctor was changing, he was like pulling off pieces of his skin to watch his own transformation.
Oh yeah.
Just chunks out of his arm, and you see it like, tendons showing and stuff, and
Yeah.
then he turns around and he has peeled his face off.
Yeah, which was
Face.
I wasn't
off.
a fan of that. But at least we didn't get to see it. When, y'all,
He did put his face in like a petri dish.
when when Bev at the beginning was like, "This isn't my face," and reached up to her face, I started screaming like, "No, do not do this!" I was like, "Please don't do this."
You were like, "Oh no, we got to watch something
I was like,
else."
"Nah, I'm not here for this anymore, guys. Like, I'm not about to watch this chick actually pull her face off because the practical effects had been pretty solid with the way
Yeah.
the blood was. She'd already pulled a little bit. I was like, "No,
Yeah.
I don't want to do this."
Yeah, it looked like she had pulled some off, but smeared the blood around. So
Yeah,
I think Nick would have probably fainted if we got like an actual peeling of a face off.
I would have held your hand very
so
tightly.
yeah,
But Jerry
we
hold
did.
me.
There was a Travolta joke made by, I believe you made it.
Yes,
Jared.
I did make a Travolta joke.
Yeah,
It was whenever Dr. Powell was turned away from us. And
Yeah.
then he was turning around, and I was like, and it's John Travolta.
He took his face off. It's very good.
I completely missed that. I was actually like
You were
I was
so
locked
gross.
in on the
Yeah.
movie. I completely missed you say that.
I mean, it's a good movie, I
Yeah.
think. But we'll get into the ratings later. So there's this one spot where Daniel faints. And then you get the doctor like hovering over him, and he's like just filling him up.
Yeah, like
And
I
it's
was
like-
like, I
like
was
he's
like,
not
he woke
checking
up
his
and he's getting
pulse.
fucked.
Yeah.
Well, I think what that was about is he was, because if he had died, he would have begun to come back and he would have understood what was going on, right? And so I think that's what he was doing. Is it was almost like an erotic thing. Is he's like, first of all, he's like clearly obsessed with death after all this, and
Yeah.
the
Oh, yeah.
transformation that you go through, that they were going through when they died and came back. So I mean, I think that was my when that happened. I was kind of like, this guy seems like he's part of this, but then he died, and so they really threw me after that.
I mean, that was the whole thing. They were trying to throw you off.
Oh,
Now you get it. I do also like the part where Daniel gets stabbed outside, like in the chest,
Oh,
and then
yeah.
the doctor is talking about how he stopped the bleeding for now.
he wasn't wrong.
He was
The
not
bleeding
wrong.
did continue.
Yeah.
Oh, he was foreshadowing. He's like, guys, I'm totally gonna fuck this dude up later.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty much foreshadowing.
Yeah,
It's
but
like,
I mean, at the
oh
same
yeah,
time,
I've saved your life for
you're-
now.
you're-
You're going to die eventually.
But that's like saying, I mean, that's the hero in a horror movie, right? Like, I mean, if there was a hero, like he's kind of presented as the guy that could potentially be the hero or whatever.
He
So you're gonna end
technically
up
was.
bloody at some point. Like, there's
Oh,
no way
yeah.
you get out of this shit clean.
Yeah, I did think that it was funny that they spent a lot of time trying to build up Rold as if he was like part of the cult thing,
Yeah.
like that he was going to become a monster, and then he like never did, and that was kind of disappointing. But like because you didn't know. I mean, it's like how Nick, you were talking about when we were watching it, how the father and the son kept bouncing back and forth. They're like, okay, now they're good, now they're bad, now they're good, now
Yeah.
they're bad. Didn't know, like they present themselves as villains at the beginning,
Yeah.
and then that kind of changes, and then it kind of flips back. And it's the same thing with Rold, because it's like you don't know if he's good, if he's bad, if he's infected, if he's not. You don't know if he's going to be the one to
Yeah.
save the day, which would have been, a huge win for Letterkenny fans.
The whole time we were watching this, I thought you meant Daniel was from Letterkenny, so I was like constantly trying to see it, and it wasn't until we started recording that I realized that's not who y'all were talking about.
Yeah.
No, that's
Yeah.
not.
Yeah, I just kept looking at it. I was like, you guys are so wrong. But ironically,
I was really proud of myself for catching it, like at the brief glimpse you got of his face in the trailer. I was like, is that Rold?
do you guys think that the cultist people in Sheets could have done a little bit more?
Yeah.
I'm always creeped out by shit like that. And so I just wanted a little bit more out of that because like I'm a huge fan of any time. Like I was gonna say, what was the? I think it was the other. What was the? Where all the like creepy people wore the white masks and like were coming into that house to kill those family members. Do you remember that? I think it was called not The Others. Doesn't matter.
The Strangers.
Thank you. That is exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Like anytime you just like when they would just look out like across the parking lot and they were all standing there, that shit always freaks me out.
Yeah.
So I was hoping there would be a little bit more from them, but I guess they were just
I mean, they were just like your typical cultists.
Yeah.
That were basically a hive mind.
Well,
of people.
they were somebody asked Daniel. They were like, I think it was Allison. She was like, "Why aren't they coming in?" And he said, I don't think that their job is to do that.
Yeah, that's
it's
fair.
that they're keeping us from leaving.
Well, and that's fine. I just kind of wanted some more out of them because that shit always freaks me out. So I wanted a little bit more. I get why they didn't. Within the movie, it made perfect sense. I just wanted a little bit more
because
out
they
of them.
weren't the main focus.
Yeah.
Like it didn't. There was no reason. There was no need for them to be inside.
Yeah,
So-
until it was time for them to come in and bring her down, which
Yeah.
I do have my thing was, what did they gain by having the chick that was going to give birth to the doctor's child, her just pretending she wasn't with them for so long? Like that was a little weird to me. Like that threw me a bit because I mean she could have just been like, "Yep, he's gone, going downstairs too."
Yeah, I mean that is kind of some. I think it was just to throw you off.
It was because if she'd cut that
And-
baby out,
Yeah.
which I guess to be fair, he did get Allison away intentionally. No, he didn't. She left on her
She
own.
left on
She
her
was
own,
told
yeah.
not to do that. So, yeah, that was the only thing that kind of got me. Is I was like, some of this was kind of like it would have been handled differently, but
I mean,
whatever.
okay,
I'm
look,
overthinking
it's,
it.
It's not a perfect movie.
Oh yeah,
by
I'm
any
definitely
means.
just overthinking.
I mean,
it.
there are some plot points where it's like, okay, this doesn't necessarily make sense within the world. But
None of the medical science adds up.
Well, I don't know, man.
it's
I think
funny you bring that up because one of the little trivia facts is that you wouldn't keep morphine in just like a cabinet,
No.
just out in the middle of everything.
Yeah.
Well, to
Like
be fair,
it would
she
be
said
locked
locked.
up.
Yeah.
It was in the drug room, is what the other chick said.
Yeah, but
the
it
med
wouldn't
room.
be. It wouldn't be in there.
Oh,
It
well,
would be locked up. Well,
yeah,
because I mean,
well, and I think if I'm not mistaken, in the drug room they usually have a locked cabinet, or it's somewhere else. I do because
Yes,
they have more.
but it's
readily
gonna
available.
be behind more security than
Yeah.
just like a locked cabinet.
No, I don't know shit, but
I mean,
believe you.
it's per regulations.
I believe you. I'm just saying I don't know those regulations
Yeah.
yet. I'm gonna read them all tonight for y'all.
I mean,
For
we
our
can look them
listeners.
up and we can talk about them right
Oh
now.
God, let's read them all. Our fans would
Let's
love
go
it.
through medical regulations on this podcast. This is what this show is.
This
now.
is honestly the only reason I joined this podcast. Is I knew eventually we'd get here.
We would get to the
Mm-hmm.
medical
Yeah.
aspect of it. Yeah.
I like that when he went. So they go outside. Daniel and the father and the son. They go outside to get the gun. They come back in, and then he's like, "Where's Allison?" And there and Kim goes, "She went to get supplies." And he goes, "Where?" And she goes, "The med room." And he was like, "Ugh."
I
Just
like
his reaction. It was like it was a non-conversation. Like it went on. It was like just kind of back and forth with the same answer, just said differently. Where else would he get supplies in a half-burned-out hospital, or would she get supplies in a half-burned-out hospital? Obviously, the medical medication room.
Yeah, the medication. Yeah, wherever they keep it. It's like, but I love that he also knew exactly where it was. I get you're a cop and you've potentially brought people there before. You probably don't know where
when
it is.
his wife works there.
yeah.
So she's
and
taking him to the medical room. Like
Yeah,
that?
maybe.
I guess.
Maybe he
Maybe.
just knows where
maybe
it
they were
is.
hooking up in there.
Yeah,
It's possible.
yeah. They're shitting up morphine. I mean,
That's where they
shitting up
conceived the
morphine.
baby.
Yeah.
Okay. You know what the most unrealistic part of this entire movie was?
What?
Do you guys remember when they're gonna go get the shotgun and what was the guy with the rifle's name? Ball.
I'm just.
Oh wait, we never got
Yeah,
his
we
name.
never
That's
got
right.
They're
his
referred to as
Yeah,
the
yeah.
father and the son on IMDb.
So he's like, that's fine, we'll help you, but we're not risking our lives for you, whatever. If
Yeah.
we get the shotgun,
It's
it's
our
ours.
gun.
And then Daniel
Yeah.
goes, absolutely. And I was like, there's no fucking way. Like, that was the most fake ass absolutely.
He says absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely.
I remember just being like, there's no way these people bought this.
And then he fucks him over and keeps
immediately,
the shotgun.
which, I mean,
as soon as they get it, he runs away
does.
and he goes, I'm keeping the gun.
Yeah, and I love that he kills the cultist, which we named Jim because he showed up late because he didn't go to the dress rehearsal. So, but I love that. Yeah, as soon as he kills him, he's just like, and I'm keeping the gun.
And they don't bat an eye.
Yeah, no, they're just like, nah, it's cool, man.
It's like, you got it, dude.
Yeah.
There's no fucking way when he's like, absolutely. I'm like, yeah, no fucking way y'all bought that.
Yeah.
It was the most unrealistic part of the movie, even though there were demons coming out of people. No fucking way that those guys bought that. Sorry.
Daniel got the shit beat out of him a lot.
My guy caught a fucking 8-inch knife that the blade went like all but 1 inch into his back.
Yeah.
And then he found the strength to crawl across the floor because love. That's the power of love right there. He wanted to get that asshole back for what he did to
Allison.
Allison, thank you.
Yeah.
He does mention at one point that the father could probably kick his ass.
Yeah.
Which was fucking great.
Things you will never hear a cop say.
Yeah.
You could probably kick my ass.
Yeah, you could probably beat me up. And it's actually in that same scene where he talks about it's his privilege to hate his wife.
Because that's right. Because he led with that. He goes, you know what? You could probably kick my ass, but it is my privilege to hate my wife. But you know what? The guy respected it. He's like, you know what? You're right.
You're right.
That's between y'all.
Yeah, he's like, no, I get it because I hate my son.
Okay, so y'all were kind enough to clue me in at the end of the movie that he had not spoken a word. He had some sort of bandage on his neck, right?
Yeah.
So,
and they pointed it out. He was
but there
like,
was no
he doesn't
explanation
talk.
of why he. Oh, did they say he doesn't talk?
He was like he said something like, oh, he can't talk. Look what they did to him, and he had that bandage on his neck, and that was it.
Oh, so okay, so
That's
the
the
doctor
only
had definitely
explanation.
operated on him some.
No, this was like as soon as they showed up in the hospital.
No.
They didn't
But I'm
know
saying
that
if
the
they said,
doctor was
"Look what
involved.
they did to him," the doctor
He's
must
talking
have
about
done
the
something.
cultists.
Oh, I guess
Yeah,
maybe
the
they cut
cultists.
his neck to the point
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
he didn't die.
Maybe
Like
they stabbed
stabbed
him in the neck
him,
and it
yeah.
severed his vocal cords or something.
That seems
I don't know.
incredibly difficult to do in some sort of combat situation, but sure.
Well, and what's crazy is
Lucky
that
shot.
Yeah.
he went on. It's
For him or
just
them?
wild because he went on to be in the character went on to be in Willy's Wonderland.
Oh, fantastic! You're right. I never even thought about it that these could be related, but I bet.
Oh, and this is also like a precursor to the Squid Game.
I could see that.
Yeah, it's all there.
Okay.
I love these links that you're putting on other movies.
The
and
Squid
shows.
Game one is not quite as strong, but
What the Squid Game?
yeah, I don't think it's quite as strong as.
Yeah, well, I mean, you have the people
Okay,
with
let's
the
not
triangles
talk
on their
about the
masks.
Squid Game on the show.
It's actually just
Okay.
Squid Game. There's no the.
You eat a dick.
But there definitely is yeah. He could go on to be Willy's Wonderland.
Yeah, no, I like that. I think that tracks.
Yeah. And if you want to know more
Sure.
about that, go back and listen to the episode.
Except that at some
Listen
point,
to our back catalog.
at some point he stops looking like Matt Damon and becomes
Yeah.
Nick Cage.
He did. He looked like methed out Matt Damon, but right after he got clean.
Yeah, I could see that. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is a really cool part that I did want to talk about real quick. And that's whenever you see like the pregnant belly of Allison where it's like all wiggly and stuff, like before she's all like tentacle Allison.
Yeah, before she's a monster incubator.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I don't know, I thought as a practical effect that was very cool.
that was really cool.
Tentacallison.
You're almost there.
Yeah, you didn't
You're
do much of
almost-
anything.
You're so close.
I'm close. I'm gonna get this, guys. Y'all keep talking. I'm gonna figure it out.
At the end of the show.
Yeah.
Hey, we're gonna be done, and we're gonna be walking
I've
out the door,
got
and
it!
Nick's gonna go alticles. No, man, no,
Still no.
no,
I'll be
it's still
texting y'all
bad.
the next week, trying to work it out.
All right, well, let's go ahead and get into ratings. I feel like we've talked about this movie quite a bit. Nick, what are you giving this movie?
Do you want to go first? You never get to go first.
Yeah, you
Jared.
go first, Jared.
Okay, I'll go first. I've already said it. I really like this movie. This is the second time I've watched this movie, and I would watch it again. I think it's really fun, especially like the Lovecraftian influence that is on this movie. So yeah, this gets a skull from me.
I'm gonna agree. Definitely a skull. I liked it. I mean, it had a couple of flaws, but ultimately, it knew what it wanted to do, moved along. It really had an incredible pace because, like I said, when we got to the end of the movie, I was like, already? I was like, damn, this moved. Yeah, I'd watch it again. Not immediately, but I would definitely. If somebody like next week was like, do you want to watch it? I'd watch it, that quickly. So, yeah, it was fun. Missed you guys say a few things because my eyes were glued to the TV. So, yeah, it's a
good
skull
sign
for me.
Yeah, that's the thing I was going to bring up is that, like, I'll, like, zone out in a lot of movies, or I'll, like, look at my phone, or I'll, like, there will be something, or, like, I'll be typing, but, like, I had to go back and type in deaths. That's why I missed that one, was because I was so sucked into this movie, so it definitely gets a skull from me.
Nice. 3 skulls.
Yeah.
We did it.
And not even $30,000 a piece for skull for the budget,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah,
Jesus.
it's very true.
Good shit. I wonder if this is one of our lower budget movies that we've done. I mean, we've had some shit low budgets,
I mean,
clearly.
no-
I mean,
There's nothing lower than
we've
Bad
covered
Ben.
Bad Ben.
yeah, but I'm just saying, like, aside from the ones that, like, that he just put together himself, like, it had a legitimate budget and actually some actual actors in it. And so,
Yeah.
I'm just kind of curious. But
Yeah.
that would require a lot of auditing
think-
to go back and check budgets on everything.
Yeah, I feel like we've had some lower budgets that were actually pretty good movies. But I mean, for under 100,000,
Yeah.
I
Well-
think that this turned out to be a great movie.
What was the Disney movie that was fucking awful?
We don't talk about
Yeah,
that.
that's fair.
It's just like Bruno. We don't talk about it.
We do not talk about it. Like, I'm over
Fucking
here
asshole.
holding it in, and I'm like, damn it. All right, well, thanks for listening, everybody. If you want to join in the conversation, if you want to suggest movies to us, you can find us on all podcast apps and share us with your friends who also love laughing about dumb horror movies. First of all, we'll be at Comic Palooza July 16th at 11 a.m. It's 11 a.m.?
11 a.m.
Awesome.
11:45 a.m.
Yeah, we'll be at so we'll be doing a live show there, and then you can find us on TikTok at Spoop Squad Podcast, Twitter at Spoop Squad, and on Facebook at The Squad Podcast. And if you still have email, because who has that anymore, you can email us at spoopsquad@gmail.com.
Well, that's how they suggest movies to us, Nathan.
That is how they suggest movies to us. I can do my own laundry.
I'm dead.